So this video is going to be a little bit different than what I usually cover. As you all know, I mainly cover gaming, peripherals, keyboards, headsets, mice, and anything in between right there. And if you're an original from my channel, thank you so much for coming by for this one. And if you're new to my channel, again, thank you as well so much for coming by for this one. Because again, I'm covering something a little bit different here, but something I really wanted to share with you guys. That little guy back there, the hype of the internet right now, the Mac Mini. And I picked up the Mac Mini Pro. And why I wanted to talk about this, as there's tons of amazing coverage out there for it, but I wanted to see as a daily user. Myself, I've used Mac for years for my editing of all of my videos since I started this channel, and I've been using one of the 5K Macs 2020 version decked out. It's been an absolute great machine, but I wanted to convert my setup to one room, hence the reason the Mac Mini comes into play. And that's what I want to talk about, is my daily use with it, video editing with Final Cut Pro, and how does it perform. But first, I got to talk about one of the biggest selling points of why I went with the Mac Mini, and that is the profile. The size of it, how compact it is. Again, I can change out my studio, bring it over to my game room, and then have everything in one room. And now I got a whole extra room in my house that I converted over to a music, reading, / just hangout room. And again, I can have my Mac and my gaming PC right over here, take the Mac Mini, just put it right behind my monitor, and it does everything I need. I don't need a dedicated setup for my 27-inch 5K Mac. Now, one thing that really drives me nuts about the Mac Mini though, that a lot of you have probably heard online already, is that darn power button underneath it. Apple being all environmental friendly with their minimalistic packaging and not doing stickers anymore, but to put the power button underneath as you want to leave it on, so you're just gonna run more electricity, just seems completely weird in my mind. It's just backwards. So again, that is annoying, as I always gotta reach back there and press that power button. Now, I do have to mention one little nitpicky thing here. As I purchased the Mac Mini Pro version, well, this thing doesn't say Pro anywhere on it, and it doesn't differentiate itself from, again, the cheaper models, which, I don't know, just messes with me. I wish it said Pro somewhere on the box at least, but even on the device, it doesn't say or look any different from the cheaper versions. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but when I spend Pro money, I want my thing to say Pro and separate itself from the other ones. Now, keeping it going with the negatives of the Mac Mini, I gotta talk about the price of it, which it is a very reasonable price, especially looking at the $500 one. That is an absolute beast of a machine if you're doing basic computing. I went with the Pro one because I wanted to be future-proofed, and I do a lot of video editing, which we'll talk about here shortly. But over on Apple's site, whenever you wanna upgrade your Mac Mini from the memory or the RAM or anything like that, the prices get absolutely absurd. Hence the reason I went with an external NVMe. I did a little housing and then the NVMe inside, and it is lickety split, very snappy, and a whole lot more cost effective than Apple's solution. So I highly recommend you not upgrading through Apple. Definitely go the route I did right there. I have the links to those right down in the description. And again, they are just as fast, as almost not as fast as the externals that are in my Mac Mini Pro. And of course, the other cost issue with the Mac Mini, whether you're looking at the $500 one or the $1,200 or $1,300 one that I got, the Mac Mini Pro, you're going to need a monitor. Now, of course, you can get very cheap monitors out there, but most of us are at 4K these days, or at least 1440p, which is what I use, and you're upwards around, give or take, $500 for something decent. My monitor's around $1,200. So right now with my setup, I'm pretty much at $1,400 to $1,500. I got that completely wrong. Let's add $1,000 to that. I am at $2,400. And of course, the Mac Mini does not come with a keyboard or a mouse, which many of us have already, but having dedicated Apple peripherals is definitely a plus. Not talking about their goofy little magic mouse, which you can't get any kind of grip on. It's the worst ergonomic mouse ever. It's so uncomfortable. Like, who the heck designed this thing? The features and functions are great, but the ergonomics are horrible. Well, luckily Corsair came out with their M75 wireless and the K65 Plus wireless in an Apple format. So all the keycaps and everything on it are dedicated to Apple. Everything syncs up right to the Apple. You can do IQ right on your Mac. And again, it works wirelessly. It matches the setup. It just works seamless with the Apple interface. I mean, these cost less than the Apple peripherals. In my honest opinion, they're better. But again, that's also an added on cost. So now we are upwards around $2,500 to $2,700, and it's getting pretty darn expensive. But of course, that can be different for your setup, as you can go with a cheaper monitor, or again, maybe you're not going with the Mac Mini Pro. But if you were still going with the base Mac Mini, the $500 one, you're still going to cake on roughly around $500 for a monitor, give or take a few hundred for peripherals. So you're still upwards around $1,100, $1,200. It's not really just that $500 price tag. But what you really got to do is look at it like I did, which is the realistic way to look at it, as I combined my rooms to one room, and now I'm using one monitor for my gaming PC and then one monitor for my Mac Mini. So it's really half and half. So I can slice that monitor cost in half, 500 and 500, and I got one whole setup here that's controlling everything. I don't need a dedicated room to it. And again, I don't need a dedicated monitor for each of them. So it's really a savings in the long run. Maybe I'm just trying to convince myself that my purchase was worthwhile. But now let me talk about my daily use and what I use my Mac Mini for. That is being video editing, which I use Final Cut Pro, and I'm not making movies or anything fancy like that, but I do overlay effects and a lot of lighting effects, and I really stack a lot of footage into my videos, whether it be music and again effects. Heck, a video I was just working on was roughly around 25 to 30 minutes. It was a long one, and I shoot in 4K, and it handled it seamlessly. I never got a beach ball, no lags, no delays, no nothing when adding any effects, and I rendered in the background. Never had a hiccup whatsoever. It handled everything I threw at it. Now, talking about rendering that massive video in 4K, no, it was not lickety split, but it was a very big file. You're talking 100 plus gigabytes. It was a massive video for sure, but it still took a little while. It wasn't like a snap of the fingers if I was just smashing together a few different videos with no effects. Now, when I also tried the same process going to the NVMe, the external storage that I recommended, it was still pretty much the exact same speed. Again, very fast, which I would recommend you again getting that NVMe so you're not hogging up all the storage on your Apple, your Mac Mini right there, and then slowing everything else down. It is just such a great machine to compact down into one versatile space, and it truly does everything that I need. So if you're out there creating content, or you want to start and you want something minimalistic, not incredibly cheap, I don't want to say that, but again, something that's really going to push out and get you a little future-proofed, I would recommend you going with the Mac Mini Pro. I have not used the budget or the $500 option, but if you're not editing videos, you're doing basic schoolwork and stuff like that, that $500 one is going to be perfectly fine. As just an average consumer, not an Apple fanboy, that yes, I do use all Apple products from watches and phones and so on and so forth, but this I did not think would be able to keep up with the work that I do. But it is definitely doing everything that I throw at it seamlessly in butter smooth. I am so happy with this purchase, and yes, I do highly recommend it.